Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. Come one, come all, but welcome in. And appreciate you guys for stopping by, jumping in, and also for those that are watching the replay. Uh, yeah, so no camera on today. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of issues with the webcam and everything, so hopefully audio will suffice. But we are live, and some interesting things have developed over the last couple of days. With just a lot of this leaked info, and it looks like that we got a leaked info of an older device, the actual Pixel Fold prototype, and yeah, so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that. I'll pop it on screen so you guys can kind of see the photos. Link is in the description to the website androidpolice.com that I'm pulling this information from. There are other various websites too as well that has pretty much gone into the Pixel Fold prototype. But this is the one that I'm reading for right now. And then, of course, I have my thoughts that are reserved basically for the reasons why this didn't come. Also have my speculations too. So kind of understand that those are just like my speculations, my thoughts on it, my perspective on the Pixel Fold prototype. We're going to give you guys an update also on just how Helium Mobile has been for me up until this point. Just kind of give you guys if there's any growing pains with them or anything to look out for. Definitely we'll have the site up for you guys to kind of check out and see. And there's also a promo code in the description for you guys to literally get your first month free if you guys sign up with Helium Mobile to try them out. And I'll talk a little bit more about the sign up process because it seems that some people are kind of going through a little bit of an issue or just, they're seeing this thing that kind of like freaks them out. So I'm going to explain the sign up process. And then also, I decided to go ahead and talk about Boost Infinite and more woes, more growing pains with Boost Infinite customers. Just kind of talk a little bit about that. And then, just kind of like free flow it through there. So, kind of a structured list in today's podcast. Glad to have you guys here. Glad to have you guys a part of the show. If you're coming in, please smash the like button. That does help the channel out tremendously. And, just lets people find my videos and whatnot. So that would be greatly appreciated. And also share this on your favorite, platforms. That would totally be super helpful. I'm getting some of the sites pulled up right now. But okie dokie, let's kick the tires and light the fires. We are just at the end of June. This is the last day of June. So happy, end of June 2024, hitting into July. So we are halfway through the year. Can you guys believe that? That we are halfway through the year already as is. That's insane. That's crazy. It was just like, it just feels like it was just not that long ago that it was, brand new year 2024. Now we're like halfway through it and we got all kinds of like craziness happening in the world today. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let me get this article pulled up for you guys. I'll make it easier and just do the entire screen. Ta-da! And here we go. There you have it. The Pixel Fold prototype. Now, for a lot of you guys who know, I am, very heavy into Google Pixel devices. I try to get as much of them as I can because I do enjoy using them. I enjoy what they do bring to the table. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, okay, yeah, it's a great experience for me. Shout out to the person that said I repeat myself quite a bit. I have ADHD, so if I tend to repeat myself, my apologies. Forgive me for that. But nonetheless, so right now I'm at the point on the web page that pretty much has like photos of it, right? So we kind of we see it right here. It doesn't look too far different from the Pixel Fold that we got. I would say a couple things that's different. Obviously, the top part right here has this carbon fiber look to it, and then we have the Pixel 6 camera bar right here, rather than what we ended up getting on the Pixel Fold, which is the camera bar that's very similar to the upcoming Pixel 9. So, yeah, we'll get more into that as to why the camera bar looks like this on the prototype. And then you guys can see there's this kind of design on the back of the Pixel Fold, almost as if it's like circuitry flow, and it's pretty cool. I kind of really would have liked this on the Pixel Fold in itself, if they decided to do that. What's up, Isaac? Welcome in, man. Glad to have you here. But I definitely would have appreciated this on the Pixel Fold, the one that actually launched. But it didn't have this design. This is something here that I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, why didn't they come with this? Well, I'll get more into that as there was a lot of info there, right? So this is the actual Pixel Fold that we got. You can see it has the camera bar island, and that's very similar to what the Pixel 9 is going to boast. So I guess that's the two photos there to just kind of see a difference, right? So if we kind of go up over here, let's see. I have a picture of the inner display, but reading verbatim from the AndroidPolice.com website, it says that although the Google Pixel Fold was launched just over a year ago, it feels like we've been talking about the foldable for a long time. Let's see. This is because Google has been working on the Pixel Fold for a while now, and there was even a prototype codenamed Pipit that surfaced in early 2022. Although it was shelved later, we never got a chance to look at the early version of the Pixel Fold that comes so close to release. But thanks to an XDA forum post, we can finally see it in the flesh, right? So that's why, people are just like, it's making its rounds, making its news. Yeah, so okay, so here's some more photos. So I'll make it larger for people to see, basically. But this was the hinge. If you guys want to know what the hinge looked like, obviously the back of it and the front. So it's not like drastically different from the Google Pixel Fold that we got now. You can see there is a very noticeable crease in the display right there. So there's a front. The front pretty much looks the same as what we actually got. So the prototype is not too far off from what we actually got. Just some subtle changes, to the back of the device and how it looks and everything like that. I would, it's to say. So what they do continue on to say over here is that while Google opted for a metal-based camera island with the final version of the foldable, the prototype has a Pixel 6-esque glass-based camera bar that spans the width of the device and wraps around the edges. Let's see. Android Authority clarifies that the carbon fiber-like pattern just above the prototype's camera island is likely a skin. So okay, so then the top of it wasn't going to look carbon fiber. That would have been kind of cool if it was, right? Like someone comment thumbs up if you guys would have liked the top part above the camera bar to have actually been like a carbon fiber body design rather than just a skin. They're saying that they're also learning that the prototype's outer display was marginally smaller at 66 by 128 millimeters compared to the Pixel Fold screen dimensions of 67 by 133 millimeters. Interestingly, Google decided to stick with the same inner display on the Pixel Fold as the prototype. Another noteworthy attribute that didn't make the final cut is stylus support. Google seamlessly tested the waters and ultimately deciding not to ship it. So they go on to just say that on the hardware front, Pivot reportedly featured the first-gen Google Tensor chipset, although the company eventually went with the Tensor G2 on the final version of the Pixel Fold. Meanwhile, the prototype carried the Exynos 5123, which was notorious for causing issues with the Pixel 6. That's what the Tensor G1 is kind of based off of, is that Exynos 5123. The camera setup wasn't of high pedigree. Let's see, it had a 12 megapixel Sony IMX363 unit, so that's what we've seen in previous Google Pixel devices. It's always been that. It's always been the Sony IMX363. It wasn't until the Pixel 6 that they strayed away from that camera sensor and went with something different. Obviously, opting in for a Samsung sensor, the Samsung GN01, which is a 50 megapixel shooter, compared to the Sony IMX363, which was a 12.2 megapixel shooter. Let's see. There's no telephoto camera on board either, with the prototype using the Sony IMX368 12 megapixel as the ultra wide sensor. So I had an ultra wide, I had a regular wide angle sensor, but it didn't have a telephoto sensor. So that's just a little bit about, you know, the Pixel Fold prototype, codename Pipit. So like I said, I have my thoughts, you know, about the reasonings why and how did we know that this was even coming? Like, why didn't most of us figure it out? And you know what? Like, I mean, the signs of a foldable device has always been, you know, since earlier, before, you know, even hearing like the leaked rumors and leaked images of the Pixel Fold. We kind of had an idea. So if you think back, you know, two generations of software previous, right? That would be Android 12. But there was a significant thing that Android 12 had going for it before Android 13 was released. If you guys remember, there was an Android 12, and then there was an Android 12L. And a lot of people were talking about Android 12L being for a larger display, that kind of sorts. And we were just kind of thinking like, okay, you know, that pretty much set off in motions that, you know, there was a possibility that, you know, Google Pixel would get a foldable device. And they weren't wrong for it, because this device right here, this prototype, obviously meant that, you know, they were diligently working on a foldable back then, and that they had plans to actually release one. This will also kind of mean, you know, why they're, you know, why the Pixel 5 was supposed to have actually gotten the Tensor G1. Because if you guys didn't know, the Pixel 5 was technically supposed to get the Tensor G1 to kickstart the new Tensor processor. So that was kind of like the idea of it. And in the last minute thing, because of, you know, what was going on in the world, part shortages and stuff like that, they opted for the Snapdragon 765G and decided to hold off on the Tensor G1 until the Pixel 6. And the Pixel 6 came with a lot of things that was new, right? It just wasn't just like, okay, finally Google's doing an in-house chip type thing. So that was like one aspect of it. The other aspect of it was that it came with an entirely new design. They completely ditched the square camera module in the corner that was very iPhone-esque. And yes, I said that, very iPhone-esque. A lot of companies were basically following on the you know, they were copying off Apple and the iPhone, right? So, you know, the Pixel 5 did it, you know, the 4, the 4XL, the 4A, the 5, the 4A 5G, the 5A, all had that square camera module set up. So, by having that with the Pixel 6, obviously bringing in the camera bar, some loved it, some hated it. Literally, it pretty much just like gave Pixel its own identity without it, you know, ever being mistaken for an iPhone. And I know some people who are very tech savvy will say that, you know, it's nearly impossible to, you know, mistaken the Pixel for an iPhone, right? It's like, yeah, what's up, Sneed? What's going on, man? So, you know, obviously, right? But still, today, you know, when you're walking around, you can clearly, you know, point out somebody that is using a Google Pixel device. The camera bar is just a dead giveaway, right? So, you know, Pixel 6 launched with the Tensor G1, launched with, you know, a whole new vision and direction of where Google Pixels was going. So this right here, the prototype Pixel Fold, obviously was supposed to be either launched alongside the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, or it was supposed to come after it just a little bit. But they decided to scrap this for what we currently have now as the foldable. I don't know how I feel about that camera bar. It's not really a big deal to me or anything like that. I just really wish that this design on the back is actually what the Pixel Fold that we got had. Even the carbon fiber up here would have been a very nice touch. I feel like it. And that could have been like, you know, a two style model release, you know. So you would have like the one, like, not talking about like the camera design or anything like that, but I'm just talking about like the body build and whatnot, right? So if, you know, the Google Pixel Fold launched and then they had this as like an exclusive, right? Because Google Pixels tend to have an exclusive color. That definitely would have, I thought that's a nice touch. I thought so. So anyways, yeah. That's why we were having Android 12L. This was the reason why, because they literally were going to try to launch a foldable Pixel around the same time that the Pixel 6 was launched, maybe a couple of months after the 6, right? So maybe like, you know, early 2023, they would have launched it. But kind of glad that they didn't though, because the Tensor G1, especially at the time when it originally launched, it had a lot of problems on Android 12. Android 13 pretty much ironed out a lot of that, but Android 12 was very buggy on the Pixel 6. So I could only imagine the same pains that Pixel fans who opted for the Pixel Fold, if it was this device that released, would have been experiencing with the Tensor G1. So glad they held off. Glad that it ended up getting the Tensor G2. Although some people will complain about overheating and things like that with the Tensor G2. Again, these are same pain woes that we get with Exynos, and that's going to change, right? It's not going to change this year. The Tensor G4 is built by Samsung. So now we're going to see what they do with TSMC, which, to be quite honest, the Pixel 10 won't be the first device that has a processor chip that is built by TSMC. Because if you look at the Pixel Book has the Intel i7. Or at least mine does. Mine has the Intel i7, and I believe mine has 256 gigs of onboard storage and a good amount of RAM. I think like 16 gigabytes of RAM is what my Pixel Book has. My Pixel Book Go has the lower specification, 64 gigs of onboard storage. So, but again, my Pixel Book Gen 1 has the Intel i7, and Intel chips are built at TSMC. So yeah, the Pixel 10 won't be the actual first one. However, it is good that they're kind of going that route and giving Exynos. I do feel like that a lot of some of the complaints that folks have with the Google Pixels, like the overheating issue and things like that, I think those will be mitigated with TSMC actually doing the build for the Tensor G5. But nonetheless, kind of running away with myself there. Yeah, so we got the Pixel Fold later, right? They opted for the Tensor G2. So Android 12L was like a footnote in the histories of Android, because really it didn't serve too much of a purpose, other than like if you had like a cheap Android tablet running Android 12L, which most of them didn't. They just ran Android 12. So you literally just like had Android 12L just for shits and giggles, I want to say. Whew, refreshing. Green tea in the morning today. Top of the morning. What are some of your guys' thoughts on, hearing about and actually seeing the Pixel Fold prototype? Like, would you think that this design was better, or do you think that what we currently got is better? Sound off in the comments and let me know on that. I don't know. I think this one doesn't look bad at all. To me, it doesn't, but when it comes down to any type of smartphone, looks is just like a small portion of how I judge a phone, right? Performance is where I mostly judge it on, and that's software. I am one of those people that, finds the importance in software like a lot more over hardware. Like, hardware is important. You don't have hardware, you're not using anything, right? But hardware design, hardware look and feel, that's like a small portion of it, of how I judge a phone. How do you guys judge a phone? Do you guys judge a phone based on, hardware or software? Which matters more to you, like the most? Is the hardware that matters most to you, or is the software? Would really love to know your guys' thoughts. Sound off in the comments. Anyways, yeah. So it just, I don't know why are they talking about this now? I mean, this is probably a cool thing. This is like probably something that's going to be, heavily involved in the histories of Google Pixel, right? Like the original Pixel 2 XL, so not the LG built one, not the one that we actually ended up getting, but the actual Pixel 2 XL that was a mirror image of the regular Pixel 2, just larger. If you can find that floating around on the market, like, that's gold right there if you happen to come across one. And if you do, take care of it. Like, what if you were to ask me, what would I do if I found a Pixel 2 XL that was built by HTC rather than LG? What I would do is disassemble it and pull the battery out of it, because I don't want the battery to swell up over time. And then I would encase the thing, because Yeah, you're not going to come across that. It's just like, another rare item to come across that's floating out there somewhere is a purple Pixel 4 XL. Like one guy actually, showed it in a video. I can't find that video. If I find it, I'll definitely, share, react to it or whatever. But that purple Pixel 4 XL was pretty damn dope. Would love to get that. Foldable phones are overrated. Yeah, but there's still a market for them. So they sell. And eventually, things are heading into that direction once it gets better and better, which it has. You gotta admit though, from looking at the first Samsung Fold, the Galaxy Fold original, and then looking at what they have now, they made drastic improvements on it. The only reason that I'm happy that I didn't get a Pixel Fold right now is just some of the problems that I'm seeing that Pixel Fold owners are having, which is something that I definitely don't want to be spending that type of price on a phone for. Like, first of all, it's like insane for me to drop, $1,800 on a smartphone. I can buy me a used Honda Civic that's really good on gas mileage, completely own it from Facebook Marketplace for that price. So, I just don't see myself spending $800 on a foldable device. But you see people posting on YouTube now talking about foldables and the Pixel Fold issues that they're having. Some people are having a hairline crack on the display. They swear up and down that they're not slamming this thing closed. Yet the display is damaged, and then of course the turnaround time for repairs from Google is just. It's like, whoa. Issues, regarding that. I'm going to get into that, Philip. I've actually been using Helium for a couple of months now. Yeah, so I can't see myself going into a foldable device, but it'd be cool to have. And I promise you guys, I will own a Pixel Fold sometime in the future, just not at the current time. Yeah, so reasoning that this is just making its rounds across the Webernet is obviously, Pixel 9 is right around the corner. August 13th is the Made by Google event this year, so it's not happening in October. So I'm going to continue to keep kind of posting that on X and posting that on Threads, just to kind of remind those out there who are Pixel fans themselves but didn't, catch wind of it. This year, Made by Google event is happening on August 13th, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is happening 2 months early than usual. And yeah, I don't want to get into like why it's a good thing that they're doing it in August, but I'm just stating out that. All right, so kind of switching tracks here. Let's get into Helium Mobile. And looks like that they have all this going on. Celebrate 4th of July with Helium Mobile and Jarritos. That soda right there is actually pretty good. I've actually had that one, and the Mandarin one. But anyways, Helium Mobile, and it looks like they updated their site. Together we rise. Break free from big telco. Join a new carrier powered by people and crypto. Right. And so, if you don't know much about Helium Mobile, essentially what they're really game focused on is peer-to-peer network build, right? So depending on their own customers, basically getting the hotspots, whether it's the indoor hotspot or the outdoor hotspot, and supplying signal. And, the cool thing about it is that, if you have one of these hotspots, it's not something where it's like everyone's going to connect to it in the neighborhood. Like a guy with an iPad walking down the street is going to pick up a signal from your hotspot. Like, no. Like, the reason why I say that is because, yes, you have to have home internet in order to deploy the hotspot, because you're going to be using your home internet dispersing that signal. So you would connect either the outdoor hotspot node or the indoor hotspot device to your home internet, and it will disperse that signal. And people that have Helium Mobile, obviously, within the app itself, it wants you to basically install certificates for, to authenticate for a connection, right? So when you're in the vicinity of somebody that has the node, you'll connect to their node rather than being reliant on the T-Mobile network. Because Helium Mobile uses T-Mobile's network as its main network to supply data and call and text connectivity. So that's who they rely on. However, they try to offset that load of customers on the T-Mobile network by encouraging those people who are on Helium Mobile to pretty much set up the indoor and the outdoor hotspots in order to supply Helium customers with connection. Now, one of the biggest problems with Helium Mobile that I've noticed though is that some people get intimidated because of the fact that it deals in crypto. There are people out there who don't use crypto, have never bought crypto, mined it, or done anything with it, right? Like they absolutely are total noob. And I will say this as somebody who's like, heavily immersed in tech. When people are new to something, those who have the knowledge and experience with it shouldn't be jackasses and make people feel uncomfortable. Like Helium Mobile is trying to grow as an MVNO. So if you support Helium Mobile, if you're bought into Helium tokens and you really want this to be successful, then honestly, for those people who are very well versed in the crypto side of things, I think y'all should stop being jackasses and be a little bit more inviting and a little bit more helpful. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that delves in crypto that uses Helium Mobile is like that, but I've come across a few people like that. So I'm just saying it as a general statement. For the larger fact, in a lot of communities on various different social platforms, those people that are very heavily immersed into Helium Mobile and they're getting earnings from their hotspots that they've set up and created, because some people have gone far beyond buying the hotspots from Helium. Some people have gone as to building their own CBRS antennas to disperse signal and to basically mine tokens. But nonetheless, Helium Mobile, you can. As far as the phone service in itself, like some of the benefits that you do get with it, I mean, it's $20 a month. Okay, so it's already $5 cheaper than most of the prepaids out there that are like $25, right? Like Visible is $25. You have MobileX that has a plan that's $25. Boost Mobile has a $25 plan. Metro by T-Mobile just relaunched their Bring Your Own Device $25 unlimited plan, and those have their perks to it, right? Helium Mobile pretty much has these, I guess you can say, the same limitations as other prepaids out there, because it is 30 gigabytes of high-speed data, and then you are throttled. The only reason why that I am even remotely okay with that is, one, I have home Wi-Fi, so I'm always connected to home Wi-Fi. Two, the throttle speeds. Most of the other MVNO prepaids out there, they throttle you to like 512 kilobits per second, to even as low as 256 kilobits per second. Okay, that's pretty slow speeds if you consider today's web pages, websites, and stuff like that, and what they pull. Helium Mobile, if you pass your 30 gigs of high-speed data, you're slowed down to 1 megabit per second speed. So it's still not going to be like blazing fast. Okay, because honestly, if I ran things at Helium Mobile, I would do a 5x5 at a throttle point. So like 5 megabits per second by 5 megabits per second when you're throttled. I mean, at least you'll be able to do a little bit more things. But you know what? 1 megabit per second is better than being throttled to 256 kilobits per second. That's all I'm going to say on that. And you still be able to do things like check your emails, get text messages, get your iMessages if you're using an iPhone, be able to use RCS still. You'll still be able to do that. So yeah, unlimited talk, unlimited text, 30 gigs of high-speed data, slowed to 1 megabit per second after throttle point for $20 a month. All right. But like I said, the other benefits beside of that is that, if you turn on mapping, and I know some people get finicky about that. They're like, oh my God, it's sharing my location. Like, yes, it's sharing your location because it is actively mapping the area. What they're trying to look for are places that, service for Helium Mobile customers is weak, to basically incentivize somebody in that area who has Helium Mobile who's interested in a hotspot. Like, you get a hotspot, you deploy it in that area, you're gonna earn it. Like the average that I've seen, and in conversations that I've had with Lawrence, I've been told that the most you can earn per day on just one line of Helium Mobile connected to your hotspot is $20, right? So 5 lines connected to your hotspot in a day, you can earn basically $100. Okay, so you do the math. If you had 10 people on there, 20 people on there, 100 people connected to it, but it's not like they connect to it and you earn that $20. Like, no, as they're connected to your hotspot signal, you are earning all at the same time. So as I said, you can earn up to $20 per line a day. So if you're in a high traffic area, that's quite a bit of money that you're going to be earning. But they don't just make it where you have to get a hotspot to earn. You can earn crypto basically just from mapping. And that's how they find areas that have weak signal on T-Mobile and absolutely have no coverage on their peer-to-peer sharing network for Helium directly. So as you're going about your day like you normally do, it maps. But their mapping system is not like what people think. It's not currently active all day long, just sapping up battery and mapping when you're not even moving. Because you could be sitting at home on a Sunday and enjoying a game, whether you watch soccer or, as the world knows it, football. Okay, only in America do we know it as soccer. Or if you're watching North American soccer, which is not soccer, North American football, which is our NFL or any of those things, right? If you're actively watching that, you're sitting on your couch, you're not moving. So then, the way that they have their app built out is that it's not actively mapping when you're not moving. You have to move about 15 meters in order to engage the mapping to turn on. And then as you're moving, it is actively mapping. Now, to make sure that people don't unfairly earn too much crypto, there is a cutoff point. So you will have, what they call a 40 hex meter. So, actively mapping 40 hexagons on a map, that is your limit of how much you can earn a day. So that way people aren't, abusing it and say driving from, from Arizona to Oklahoma like I do and mapping that entire thing. You would really rack up some Helium tokens. So to make it fair, it's just 40. All you gotta do is actively map 40 hexes a day. So when you open up the mapping system, the map, obviously it's broken up into parts, and those parts are in the shape of a hexagon. So if you actively map 40 of those in either direction, whether you're going north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, don't matter. You map 40 of those hexes on that map. And you know what? You've reached your maximum of the day. They calculate your earnings. Your earnings is added into your, I guess you could say, your wallet. In your semi wallet, because you have an actual wallet where you would actually transfer all your earnings, and you can transfer it for free once a week, or you can pay, one soul coin to, not coin, but token to basically move it to your wallet immediately. But the way that Helium Mobile does it is that, you can literally just do it for free once a week. So that pretty much works out. I claim once a month. I just rack up what I rack up in my mapping and then claim it once a month. And what can you do with these tokens, right? Well, there's actually monetary value in them. Okay, so, if you're already, getting started with crypto, or you have a crypto wallet, you can actually transfer this to your crypto wallet. One sec. Sorry, I had to sneeze and I didn't want to blow out people's eardrums. But you can actively move your tokens earned from the Helium mobile app, and you can put it into your crypto wallet. You could trade it out to other crypto, right? So if you want to exchange it, from Helium tokens to, Ethereum or Bitcoin or any of those, you can do that. You can cash it out for money. That's entirely up to you. But there's other things that you can do with it. So let me kind of get going through the website itself. Okay. So they're really kind of actively going after big telco. But where is it? Because they got phone plans, hotspots. Well, let me go into the phone plans real quick. You have to see there's really only one plan. They've actually added on other things too. So they have add-ons, like international calling and stuff like that. So there you have an actual idea of the hybrid coverage that they're trying to create, right? So they've combined with the nation's largest 5G network. I mean, that's subjective. With the Helium network, a network built by people like you. This drastically saves on costs while keeping you seamlessly connected wherever you are, right? So, Legacy Tower, which is T-Mobile's towers, right? And their little nodes right here. And then you have people at home that have an indoor hotspot. So if you're close by, within close range, you'll connect to this hotspot walking on the sidewalk of the street. The further and further you go, this outdoor hotspot continues your coverage when you're further away, and then of course your mobile phone. So it talks about the hybrid coverage, discovery mapping. They have a mobile store. Yeah, so obviously there's going to be some securities to it, right? So they compare themselves to Verizon and AT&T, and what you get, and they had to throw it in there, earn mobile tokens. Of course, Verizon and AT&T. Can you imagine if Verizon and AT&T decided to create their own crypto coins? That'd be kind of funny, right? Well, of course, all of them have eSIM compatibility. Cancel anytime you want. You can with Verizon or AT&T. Just obviously, if you have any obligations like a finance device, you have to pay those off. With Helium Mobile, they don't themselves finance a device, but I think you could finance through a firm, I want to say. Anyways, yeah. Let me go to the hotspot. So these are the two hotspots that they're talking about. This is the indoor, and this is the outdoor. Yeah, it is on sale right now. And right here, it's from $249 to $175 with the code Freedom74. That's for the indoor hotspot. You can knock that all the way down to $175. Now, if you've earned yourself crypto and you've earned enough that at the exchange rate to US dollars right now is equivalent to $175, you can actually buy that hotspot with your earned crypto. So that's what you can do. You can either move the crypto, the earned crypto into your wallet. You can trade it between additional other cryptocurrencies out there. You can cash it out for cash value. You can buy a hotspot. They used to sell Google Pixels, and I'm trying to see if they still do, because they have some pretty good deals on the Google Pixels if you buy one from them. But you can also pay your mobile bill. That was the last thing I was going to get to. And that's actually pretty good. And I've been doing that. So I'll tell you guys right now, the last time I paid a mobile phone bill with Helium was back in March when I signed up for them. Since then, I've been mapping every day. When I go places, when I do Amazon Flex deliveries, when I go out and do those, I earn my 40 hexes for the day, which, for me in my area, the way the value of my areas that I go to, I'm averaging anywhere between 423.378 Helium tokens to an average of 500 plus a day, right? So 1,000 plus every 2 days. And the value of it goes up and down because the Helium tokens is hosted on the Solana blockchain. So it goes up and down. Some days, and this is where you got to watch closely when you prepay your mobile bill. If you know it's at its highest, you can pretty much follow. Is there a max set of crypto we can earn per day? So yeah, there is. Like I said, for me, it's between 423 whatever to about 500 a day for me. That's just what they're paying because of my mapping in my city. It could be different. I don't know what it would be like in New Jersey or in New York if they pay, a higher value on that. Give me 1 second. I gotta take this call. Say hi to everybody real quick.
Hi. Love you. Sorry, baby.
No, okay. Bye. Love you. Bye. My wife accidentally called me. I thought it was an emergency. But yeah, it depends on your area. But yes, there is a max limitation, daily limit, just because obviously, there are some people who truck drivers, right? Could you imagine truck drivers earning a massive amount if they had no limitations to daily earnings with mapping? So yes, they have that limitation. That's why there's 40 hexes that you can map a day. That's your limitation right there. So whatever they give you in your area is what they're going to give you, and the value of that kind of goes up and down. But I can tell you guys right now, I have actively mapped and I've earned enough to, I think with my activities, I've at one time earned enough to pay off 2 months in advance. So technically, the first time I did that was back in April. So in April, I prepaid May's and June's bill. And 3 days ago, I earned enough to prepay another month. So I've already paid July's bill. So I don't owe a bill with Helium until August. And I know, I have some friends that also have Helium Mobile, and they advise me a lot. They're like, don't waste your money paying your bill. Just pay your bill. It's only $20 a month. Save the tokens because they go up in value and whatnot. And yeah, I could do that, but I also don't want to be paying another bill, right? Because Helium Mobile is not the only service provider that I have. I have Metro by T-Mobile. I have Boost Infinite. So those are my current, providers that I'm using right now on my phones. So rather than having to worry about, a third bill, the third bill is covered by my earnings from mapping. Yes, I am a partner with Helium Mobile. So in the description is my promo code to get 1 month free. That's how I'm able to get that with everybody. I have my business dealings with Nova Inc. and was able to get this going. So I appreciate them, for the invite. I appreciate them for setting things up. Kind of wish they gave a different promo. I thought they would have used maybe Aloha as the promo code. They used my first name. So it's cringe for me when I tell you guys, use my promo code, and then I say what my promo code is, and it's I'm saying my first name. But that's what the guy set it up as. So I'm not going to ask him to change it. But yeah, you use my promo code, you get your first month free. Let me get into the whole the whole sign up process, because they have changed things up quite a bit, and they did that because of these promo code abuses, right? So there's people that, if you sign up with Helium Mobile, you're gonna get, a Helium Mobile username. Mine's is Wiggly something or something like that. I forgot. Oh my God, why is everyone messaging me now? But you get a unique code, right? And for Helium Mobile customers, if you share your code with people to sign up, it'll take $5 off their first month, right? And I believe it takes $5 off the code owner. So yeah, you can get savings either way. You can make your bill, $15 a month, I guess. Somebody else can sign up and only pay $15 to start off. So there were people that were abusing those codes. They were abusing, those partnered with Helium Mobile that, are giving out the try them out for 1 month free code. And there are people abusing that. So now when you sign up with Helium Mobile, it pretty much does an identity check. Okay, don't be alarmed. The reason why they're doing that is because they want to make sure that, if you used someone's promo code to get 1 month free, that, you're not going to keep actively going in and just opening up more and more and more and more accounts, right? Helium Mobile wants to know what their true growth is, not their growth based upon these promotions, right? They do understand marketing, and that they have to have some sort of promotion to give out there for people to get interested in them. They're not stupid. But at the same time too, they know that people will abuse that. So this is why they do an identity check, right? So of course you're going to be greeted with that, where you put in your information and you submit your information for a identity verification check. And then of course you create your account. You go through the setup process. There's one other thing. I've told them about this. I don't know if they fixed it. So if somebody actually tries my promo code, comment on this to let everyone else know if they fix this problem or not. But what the problem I'm going to be referring to is during the sign up process. When you go through it, you do the identity check, you put in all your information, you decide if you're going to activate eSIM or physical SIM. That way they can send you a physical SIM card or activate you on eSIM. Now, when you do the sign out process and you're paying for it, the pre-checkout screen right before you hit process payment, or you do the final click of the button where it's supposed to charge you, you'll see on there that it says $20, right? So it gives you a breakdown of what the charge is going to be. It says $20. Yes, it's not $20 flat rate. It's $20 with a little bit of tax. And then you hit, to process payment. A lot of people stop there because they see that and they're like, wait a minute, it says $20, but it doesn't have anything that confirms that the promo code is applied. And that's an issue that I have messaged to them about, is to, letting them know that people that are signing up are hesitant to sign up because they need some sort of insurance from people that they're using the promo codes from, that they're not going to get charged, because it looks like they're going to get charged. And it does. It looks like you're going to get charged $20. But what happens though is, like, if you have my promo code placed in where it says apply promo, and you have a green check mark there that shows that the code was accepted, and yes, type it in as all caps, not one capital letter and the rest lowercase, all caps, just to be on the safe side, because that's the way my promo code looks that was given to me. So just do it that way. But when you hit process payment, what really happens is that you'll see a charge on your credit debit card, and it'll be a charge for $1, and that $1 only shows Helium that the payment method is currently active. But you will not be charged $20, so you'll get your first month free. Helium has all these high reward areas, but it's in weird places like a conventional hall, mall. Are we supposed to install hotspots there? I've seen people in the Helium communities, like on Reddit. I've seen people literally go up to like for instance in the mall, a guy had actually posted a thing where he went to the mall. I think it was Sabaro's Pizza, and he talked to the manager there and asked them if they're willing to allow him to deploy his indoor hotspot. And he even made an agreement with them to pay them $50 a month to allow his hotspot to be mounted behind the counter in their shop, dispersing a signal connected to their Wi-Fi router. And some stores are willing to do that, but you got to be able to market. This is where you kind of go in on the business standpoint, and you are a business person mentality. You got to go in there, tell them why, tell them what you're willing to, negotiate a deal with them, because obviously you're going to be using their internet to disperse that signal. So, and they pay for their Wi-Fi, behind the counter and stuff like that. So yeah, you just got to make it seem lucrative for them in order for them to allow you to connect the indoor hotspot. Outdoor hotspot on the mall, I doubt the building owner will allow you to install that, because that's like setting up on a T-Mobile tower or a Verizon tower, right? And asking to use their tower to put your outdoor hotspot up. Yeah, you just got to market yourself. I'm looking at the map. They got Newark Airport as a boosted site. Who the heck is installing 5G hotspots there? Well, the person that owns the airport could definitely get in on this. Helium is actually going after small businesses now. They are literally trying to convince small businesses to open up accounts on Helium for their employees to use. Yes, there is a family plan type of thing. It's not really a family plan. It's kind of like what Google Fi does. They cluster a bunch of lines together, right? So like my Helium account could be the governing account, and I can have my daughters, they have Helium Mobile, so I govern theirs. Like I can see their accounts, and I can handle their payments. So that's a cool thing about it, even though the accounts stay pretty much separate. So if my daughter, when she turns 18, doesn't want to be connected to me at all whatsoever, she can be disconnected from my pool, my group, and she's good to go. Well, so the earnings when you're deploying a hotspot is very different from when you're mapping. You earn a lot more with deploying a hotspot. So it's a boosted area because it's a high traffic area. There's a lot of people that go through that airport. So imagine if nobody has an indoor or outdoor hotspot set up at that airport, and you happen to be the only person to actually set one up there. Yeah, that's going to be a nice chunk of change you're going to be earning daily. So I would definitely give it that. They changed their website around. What did they do? Get rid of oh wait, let's go to the mobile store. Wait, is this it? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh wait, so it's now on the phones itself. They don't have it up here. What is wrong with them? I would have it on the website too. Helium, why'd you take it away? Let me see. It looks like you need a phone. Here we go. Jeez. Okay, Helium, fix your website, make it more simplified. Just add phones at the top, like Helium Mobile. advice. You got phone plan, you got hotspots, you got business, stats, blogs, sign in, right? Somewhere in between here and here, put phones. So this is another reason that, I like Helium Mobile. This one's subjective. Doesn't mean anything to everybody else out there because people have their preferences. But I'm a Pixel fan, and so the fact that they're invested on Google Pixels is a big thing, right? Because a lot of companies tend to push iPhones, Samsung. It's always iPhone, Samsung, right? Boy, would I love this carrier push OnePlus, nothing, and more pixels. I would love to see that. I would love to see some diversity in the market there. I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think. Would you guys love to see, like, say, I don't know, Visible pushing OnePlus devices? That'd be pretty cool, right? I know this just from insider news, but this page will increase. They'll have more devices in the future to sell. These are just starting off with, and they're starting off with the Pixels, and hopefully they're doing good because obviously, like anything, right? If sales for these devices don't do that good, obviously Helium is going to back something else. But for right now, they're backing Google Pixels, and I like that. You can get a Pixel 7a, an 8, or an 8 Pro. Now, why is this even significant at all whatsoever, right? Well, look at it like this. You buy the Pixel 7a for $424 brand new, right? It includes 4 months of Helium mobile service free. So for 4 months, you don't have to pay for phone service. Your phone service is covered. You want to know what the cool part is? Is that if you're actively earning crypto through hotspots or through mapping, and you've mapped enough and earned enough tokens, you can buy this with the tokens that you've earned. This is where I'm saying that the Helium token is not just, some novelty to mess around with. It is actually worth cash. It is considered, just like Bitcoin. People take Bitcoin seriously. Well, take Helium token, Helium coins, take them seriously. You can use it to buy the Pixel 7a. You can use it to buy the Pixel 8, which if you buy the Pixel 8, no pun intended, or probably pun intended, you can get the 8 months of Helium service for free just for buying a Pixel 8. $699, right? So you're buying it at full price. There's no sell price on it. They did have sale prices like a month or two ago. But yeah. So, and if you go with the 8 Pro, you get a whole year of Helium mobile service for free. So if you go with the highest one, $999, and it's out of stock right now. But if they have them back in stock and you bought one from them, you would get a whole year of service free. Well, that's dope, right? So that's pretty good, man. If you have the $1,000 to spend on the Pixel 8 Pro, then go for it. If you've earned enough tokens to have an equivalence of, $1,000 plus tax, then, just from like jogging every day, running every day, hell, you don't even have to walk. You can actively map in a car. You can just sit in your car or be a passenger in someone's car going somewhere, and it's mapping. So it's not like Pokemon Go where you hatch eggs by walking kilometers. It's not restricted to walking. You can drive. You can ride a bicycle. You can ride a power scooter. You can ride a boosted skateboard. You can ride whatever you want. You don't always have to walk, and you'll earn. And so if you earn enough tokens and you buy the Pixel 8 Pro with all your earnings, literally all you did was just do like maintain an active lifestyle to earn you enough tokens to buy the phone, and then the phone pays a year's service for you. So for the next year, you don't got to worry about it. And no, there's no limitations. If you buy a Pixel 8 Pro and you get 1 year of free Helium mobile service for buying that Pixel 8 Pro through them, you can still actively map and still earn. They don't limit you to not being able to map just because you got a year's service for free. No, you just got a year's service for free because you bought the phone through them. I don't see and have not seen and was told that the phones are unlocked. So it's not locked to Helium Mobile, to T-Mobile's network at all whatsoever. They're unlocked. So yes, you can use multiple eSIMs on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. You can use like one physical SIM, one eSIM, that type of thing. Because you're actually buying the phones at full price. That's why they're not locked. So if you try out Helium Mobile and you don't like it, and say you bought the Pixel 8 Pro, then yeah, you could take a Pixel 8 Pro to Verizon. Of course, I would, just to be on the safe side, if you got the Pixel 8 Pro or 7a, I would activate with eSIM, because if Helium doesn't work out for you and you don't like it, and you want to go to a different provider, you can still keep Helium as a backup for all those months that it's free. Just remember, like, set on your Google Calendar like when you should be going in and deactivating your account. That way they don't try to charge you for another month after your free months are up. I was gonna get the 8 Pro from them, but it sold out. Customer service said they were never gonna resupply. It was like $624 with a year free service. Yeah, they sold that when they slashed the prices on the 8 and 8 Pro. They sold a lot of the 8 Pros. They sold a hell of a lot of them. They sold pretty quickly. You know, that was dang near almost $300 off the Pixel 8 Pro, and you were getting a month, you know, of free service, right? So how many people out there have the Pixel 8 Pro that still are maintaining their free year and probably got Visible or got something else alongside of it, right? Like right now, currently, I'm using Helium in my iPhone 12 separately away from my Pixel 8a, because my Pixel 8a has both my Metro eSIM and then my Boost Infinite physical SIM. So I am running dual SIM on my Pixel 8a, and the iPhone 12 is running Helium. And I do that just, you know, because like when me and my wife do Amazon Flex deliveries, we got all these packages to deliver. I use my iPhone 12 as like my, you know, to listen to music, right? I have it plugged in, connected to the stereo in my SUV, and I'm just listening to music, just jamming out. So, and at the same time while I'm doing that, it's mapping for me. Yeah, so Helium Mobile's got a lot going on for it, for an MVNO. It's got a lot going on for it. I know that there's a lot of people that speak on Reddit and they talk about like this won't last forever, or, you know, the benefits, the earnings and stuff like that are not going to last forever. They're going to change, and that's possible. You know, that could happen. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to, you know, sugarcoat and blow smoke up people's assholes. I'm telling you all the truth. It could happen. They could change how much you earn a day. They can limit it far less. They can do that. But right now, it's a great time to actually take advantage of it. Why not? That's what I would say. So again, if you'd like to try out Helium Mobile, link into the description, has my promo. Use my promo. If it says it's going to charge you $20, as long as where it has that spot that says apply promo here, and it's, you know, it's checked green, means that my code's been accepted. You're not going to get charged $20. The most you'll get charged is $1 just to prove an active, you know, payment method. And that's all. You know, B-Tech went through the same thing, and he talked to me about it, and he was golden. You know, he took the plunge, and he was like, oh yeah, they didn't charge me $20. Yeah. And I've given that feedback to Helium Mobile. Hopefully they've changed it by now. But yeah, just so you can't abuse the system and continuously keep getting a month free, obviously they want an identity verification check. Just keep in mind of that. So lastly, let's get in on Boost Infinite. Boost Infinite. Yeah, I run a group page on Facebook that's doing pretty good. I mean, we got over 1,000 active members on that group page for Boost Infinite. So if you're not following it, follow it if you wanted to get more insight and more info on it. Also, shout out to my peeps. And yes, I miss working with you guys, but that can't work for the company that does not give a shit about its customers to that extent. That I'm just going to say it that way, and I'm going to be brutally honest about it. I loved working, and they know who they are because they watch my channel and everything like that. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Miss you guys very much. It's almost coming up to me being actually actively gone from working for Boost Infinite a year, almost. September of 2023 was the last month I worked for Boost Infinite. But yeah, they still have growing pains. So what's new with them? They're still on this, right? Infinite access for iPhone, $60. Infinite access for Galaxy, $60. Bring your own device, $25. So much speculations on the Reddit page for Boost Infinite. People are thinking that these are going to go away, and they may. I highly doubt it though, just because, you know, annually you're trading in your iPhone 15 to get the iPhone 16 coming up here soon. Those that's been on it for about a year, and when the iPhone 16 comes out, they'll be able to do that. I don't know why Sneed doesn't talk about it. You can ask him. It'll tell you why. I think one of the biggest things that people have reserved about Helium Mobile is they feel like that it's a scam. And, you know, they're entitled to how they feel. No biggie. What what I know from like most people will sit back and wait and see what a company does, and if there's any like bad reputations that it garners over its infant stage, right? And Helium Mobile is still in its infancy. When it hits a 5-year mark, and then that's where things are really going to kind of kick off. But I mean, to get a definite answer, just ask him. Sneed, he's chill like that. He'll tell you up front why. Anyways, yeah, so the iPhone 16s are coming out. I definitely know that Boost Infinite is going to be super busy because people are going to be like, I have an iPhone 15 and I want to trade it in for the 16. And that's how the promo works for the Infinite access for iPhone and Galaxy plans work. Okay, you're going to surrender this device to Boost Infinite for the iPhone 16. They kind of adopted the old Sprint leasing program. Sprint had a leasing program that was very similar to this, where you would lease a phone, and at the end of your contract for that phone, you had several options. You can fully pay off the device and own it. They didn't make you pay full price for it, obviously, because they accounted for the amount of months that you were paying the monthly leasing price and factored that in, and then whatever would be the remaining balance would be what you would pay. You can continue to lease it on what they call a month-to-month, or you could surrender it and upgrade to a new device. The only difference between this and the old Sprint leasing plan for a phone is that with this one, you are contacted if you want to trade up for the iPhone 16. And as long as you kept your iPhone 15 or your Galaxy S24 in prime condition, you would have no problems trading it in. Theoretically. Anyone that catches why I said that, and you'll figure it out here in a second, because I'm about to go off on that. CoffeeZilla made a video on Helium Mobile, but the issue was with the hotspots. Yeah, the hotspots is where a lot of people are definitely going to be a little reserved on, because it's connecting to your home internet. But from what I was able to know from people that actually got the hotspot in itself, no IoTs can connect to it. It's not an open signal where they just, they need the SSID and password to get in. The Wi-Fi certificate that is installed from the Helium Mobile app when you first log into it, the certificate is your ID to connect to that signal. So even though it's connected to somebody's router, right? Like you have, the what's it called? I can't even remember it right now. But if you have your main, your hotspot line connected to your Wi-Fi router, because you'll need one. I don't know if it's a Cat 6 cable or a Cat 5 cable that you got to use. But anyways, even though it's connected to your Wi-Fi router, it doesn't mean that they're going to connect to all your IoTs. It doesn't put them on the same signal as your IoTs in your house. So no one's going to spider through all your electronics through the hotspot. It doesn't work that way. It's a one-way dispersed signal, and only those with Helium Mobile with that certificate installed on a device are able to connect. And in order to get that certificate, you have to have an active service. You gotta have an active phone number, an active account. And because you have to use an identity verification, the only way you're really gonna have a fake account is if you stole somebody's identification and did it, which will put you in 2 crimes committed. So yeah, but I see why people are still a bit reserved. So they're waiting to see any news of Helium Mobile's compromise or anything like that, to see what problems happen there. But anyways, as I said on that key phrase word with Boost Infinite, theoretically, because I can see, I'll just be upfront. The reason I'm laughing at the infinite access for iPhones is because currently right now, there are a lot of people who have issues even signing up for this plan. Like they sign up for the plan, they're shipped their phone, and that's where the first problem begins. Some people have the phone shipped to a wrong address and it goes missing. And then Boost Infinite is just like, and I know this because people have shared their emails on the group page. Like I said, you can follow my group page on Facebook. Just look for, Boost Infinite group page. It has 2 asterisks at the end of the name to identify itself away from actually Boost Infinite's page. So that way people know it's not connected to Dish at all. So Dish doesn't run or operate that page. I myself do. Titus, who was here in the chat or still here in the chat. I don't know. Titus, if you're here, say hello to everybody. Titus is my moderator. But yeah, so people will order them and not get the phones, right? That's one bad part. The second bad part is that people are getting the iPhone 15s and they're going through the activation process. You know, they're porting their number over, so they're completing the port process, and then they themselves are having an SOS signal for like 2 weeks. Like, where's their eSIM? That's a problem that they have. Then there's those that are placed on the Rainbow SIM, even though it's eSIM, it's still considered a Rainbow SIM, right? Which is supposed to have the Boost wireless smart switch, and they are reporting terrible speeds, terrible latency, terrible connectivity, terrible voice. That's sad. So they're having all these issues. Now, just imagine when it comes time to surrender your iPhone 15 for the iPhone 16. I guarantee you we're going to see a lot of people say, I sent my iPhone 15 back, and they are saying they've never received it. So now they're charging me full price for the iPhone 16. And they're charging me for the iPhone 15. Because don't forget, because the iPhone 15 went missing, doesn't mean that, okay, you know what, we're just going to charge you full price for the iPhone 16 because we never got your iPhone 15 back from you. Got to remember, the iPhone 15 is not owned by you. You're leasing it. So now you're paying for 2 phones just because of a mistake that I'm absolutely sure is not going to be your fault. Some people are very shady and they would like send back like an iPhone 12 they had in their drawer and be like, I put my iPhone 15 in the box, and they'll try to like sneak one by, you know, because not everybody is very honest these days. But the honest ones, I feel sorry for them because they're going to run into that issue. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It's going to happen. Somebody is going to have all the proof to back it up, and they're going to say it. I sent my iPhone 15 back. They sent me an iPhone 16. They said they never received my iPhone 15, and now on my bill, it's charging me full price for the iPhone 16 or 16 Plus or 16 Pro or 16 Pro Max, whichever version they got. That's going to happen. Same thing's going to happen, you know, in beginning of 2025 when the new Galaxies come out. Wait. I may have that wrong. Because isn't there like an upcoming Samsung event? Anyways, all I'm going to say is this. When the new Galaxy S comes out, it's going to happen there too. Somebody's going to send back in their Galaxy S24. They're going to get the S25. They're going to find a charge for both the S24 and S25, and they're going to be told that they never received the leased device back. Yeah, it's going to cause issues. And then those that have their new phone sent out to them, the iPhone 16 or the Galaxy S25, some of them are not going to receive their phone. It's going to say delivered. It's going to have somebody else's address on the delivery, and it's gone. And, you know, Boost is not going to own up to it right away. See, that's the problem with Boost Infinite and Dish. There are people who could validly prove that the phone was shipped to the wrong address. On their account, it shows shipping address different from what the label on the box for the phone says. And Boost Infinite customer care acknowledges that. And they send it to, you know, to the back office team to fix. And the back office team literally does nothing. And then they try to play this bullshit where it's like we still need to investigate it, or you need to contact the parcel carrier and work with them. And it's like, why would UPS, you know, what could UPS do? They can send the driver back to the place where the driver dropped it off at. And who's not to say that the person that answers the door says, oh, I never received a package at my doorstep. Because sometimes UPS just like puts it on the ground in front of your front door and takes a picture and walks away. And if it's an area that has high traffic, people walking around, they can simply say maybe someone stole it. A porch pirate stole it from my front door, so we don't have it. Now what? Instead of Boost Infinite just taking responsibility, saying, okay, you know what, we messed up on the shipping address, we'll ship another one right out to you, and then take that loss of the phone that was lost. Take it as a loss. It's your fault. You put the wrong address. Right? Like, I read tons of horror stories on the Facebook page and listen to what people have to say about their experiences. And, you know, I know it doesn't count for everybody. I know there's people on Boost Infinite that have a great experience, and I'm not downplaying your experience. I'm not saying your experience is bad or any of that. I'm just saying as is, you know, there are people that do have a bad experience, and you can't dismiss their bad experience like we can't dismiss your great experience. It happens. And Boost Infinite's not the only one that goes through shit like this. Every carrier goes through shit like this. T-Mobile goes through this. Google Fi goes through this. Verizon goes through this. AT&T goes through this. Cricket, Metro, they all go through this. And Boost is not the only one that goes through this type of stuff. So I do want to make that point very clear. My wife is on the Rainbow Sim on the Boost Mobile side. Works good. It's where the dish signal gets weak, the call starts breaking up till it switches to T-Mobile. Yeah, which is supposed to be doing, and it's supposed to be doing that a lot faster. The switch is supposed to be much faster, which I don't know why they didn't just adopt the way that Google Fi was doing things. Google Fi did that Fi switch really, really good. I love that about Google Fi. I think that's probably one of the reasons why that I'm not so dead set on wanting to go back to Google Fi. Like I go back to them like once a year. I try them out. Their customer service fucks it up for them because their customer service pisses me off. You know, during activations, like if there's an eSIM activation problem, then they want to go ahead and just blacklist my fucking IMEI instead of fixing the issue, and that's why I get mad at them. So it's like my shit's paid off. Like I'm absolutely for sure that if I was to try and sign up with Google Fi with my Pixel 8a and ran into an eSIM activation issue and then reached out to customer support, they would tell me if they couldn't get it activated right then and there, they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna send this to our escalation team and they'll fix it." And the moment they tell me that, that's when I'm like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna cancel," because I already know what the next email is gonna be. I get another email that tells me that the device is blacklisted for activations on eSIM. And it's like, fuck you, you know, like, why do you do that? So that's my bone to pick with Google Fi, but that's for another time. Maybe I'll show you guys the emails of what they sent me. Little dicks. They did that to my Pixel 6. So my Pixel 6 can never be activated on Google Fi ever again. Thanks to their fucking escalation team. But aside from that, every carrier has its growing pains. The problem with Boost Infinite, though, is like, as most carriers have the same similar growing pains, they have some form of compensation for those people who are dissatisfied, and at least make an attempt to try to save them. Boost Infinite has a retention team, and for the fair most part, they do pretty good. You know, big shout out to Taylor, big shout out to Mark, the retention team at Boost Infinite. They do pretty good. They're very cordial, very respectful, very reasonable. Like, I don't expect them to give me 6 months free just because of one small little hiccup. But when they give me, you know, basically half off my bill for my next bill, all because I wanted to actually port my number over to another provider. As a save, they took half my bill off. And it's a one-time thing. I've never called back into them to say, hey, I'm going to port out again just to try and cheat the system. Like, no way. I respect the fact that, you know, they wanted to save me. They saw value in me as a customer. They wanted to save me. So for that, I give the same respect back by not trying to cheat the system with Boost Infinite and try to get half off my bill again. Like, no. Because my current account that I have has been active with them since their beta stages. My wife's phone line on Boost Infinite is the one with the early Infinite access plan. I have a regular Infinite access plan because this line, because she had 2 lines on the account, it was added after April of 2023. So it was no longer available for the early Infinite access. They put that plan away. But anyways, yeah, I can see a lot of problems happening there. There's still problems with a lot of Republic Wireless customers migrating. Most of them should be migrated already. So their migration over to Boost Infinite, you know, I can automatically tell it's going to be a pain in the ass. For those that are on Project Genesis, don't you worry, my friends, on Project Genesis, because you guys are next. It's almost time for you guys to come up and bat, or in the price is right. The price is right. I'm thinking of food now. It's probably because I want lunch. The price is rice. Hashtag the price is rice if you made it this far into the live stream. But the price is right. You know, if you want to say it like that, Project Genesis, come on down. You are the next contestant on Can I Fuck Up Your Migration? Because you guys are coming. They're coming for you, right? Dish's plan is to have everything under Boost Infinite, which is also why they're working on their brand change. Boost Infinite will become Boost Mobile. As I'm still hearing from my internal sources, Boost Infinite is still set to become Boost Mobile. They're going to drop the Infinite name. They're just going to call it Boost Mobile. There's going to be a Boost Mobile postpaid and a Boost Mobile prepaid. Why are they doing this? Because there's absolute fucking confusion. There are people that cannot grasp the fact that Boost Infinite is postpaid. That is the number one asked question on any online platform. Boost Infinite. Are they like sister companies? Are they the same company? What's the difference? That is the number one response from consumers. And I'm not saying that consumers are idiots. They're not. But Dish does a very piss poor job marketing themselves for people to understand who they are. Like in their advertisements, they have not called themselves the fourth carrier. Why the fuck not? That would have been the first thing I would have done in Boost Infinite's launch, is to have people know that they are the fourth carrier in the US. Done something like Boost Infinite, say hello to the fourth carrier. Boost Nation. Yeah, Boost Nation would actually be pretty cool. But they're opting to go with Boost Mobile because it's such a recognized name. Between y'all and me, I feel like that it's going to cause more confusion. People that's on Boost Mobile prepaid are going to walk into a Boost Mobile store. They're going to bitch at Boost Mobile store reps, and they're going to talk about that they're on postpaid. And they're going to say, no, you're not on postpaid. Look, honestly, I just think they really need to push the fact that they are the fourth carrier. Get people knowing to that so people understand they are like Verizon, they are like AT&T, they are like T-Mobile. It requires you to have a decent credit to get aligned with them. And you don't pay for services up front, you pay for services after you use them. So at the end of your bill cycle, 14 days from that day is when your bill is due. Being straight up with that. Have they gotten better though? Yeah, they have gotten better. Their MVNO agreements with T-Mobile and AT&T has really paid off. AT&T building out their network and doing network upgrades is really helping out Boost Infinite. I can tell you right now, my network speeds on Boost Infinite AT&T side is phenomenally good. Now my average is almost similar to T-Mobile. I'll pull maybe as high as 500 megabits per second on the download. The uplink a little on the weak side. It's at like 40 megabits per second compared to my Metro line that reaches up to 100 megabits per second download. And then the latency is like at a ping of 28, right? The downlink latency that 426 milliseconds, and the uplink averages 800 milliseconds to over 1,000. So it's still a little bit It's a little bit wonky on the uplink, but a lot better than what AT&T used to do in this area, where it, for my level of priority access, I was averaging 127 megabits per second on the download and like 5 megabits per second on the upload. So they have done some changes, and that to me will help out Boost Infinite quite a bit, because that's one of the biggest complaints with people is just data connectivity. Yeah, I need to eat breakfast, everybody. Network has really improved in your area. Yeah, it has. It really has. But hey, I'm gonna call it a day. I gotta go eat something right now. I'm already kind of feeling a little bit woozy. But I appreciate everyone that came in and hung out with me. Thank you guys very much. And if you made it all the way to the end of this podcast, hashtag real one or day one, whichever you choose. That way I know who's with me on my journeys and whatnot. Yeah, I dropped an iPhone 12 video. Let me comment on that real quick. I dropped an iPhone 12 video last night. It was late last night, and someone told me that I was like repeating myself over and over, and I guess I did. I'm sorry about that. You know what? When you're doing a video at 1 a.m. in the morning because you're slightly in the case of insomnia, so I make a video to try to make myself tired. I guess I repeated myself in that video. I don't know. Somebody go check it out. Watch it all the way through and then tell me if all I was being was a repetitive robot. And if I did, I'm sorry. If not, hey, it is what it is. I know I was like super tired because I forgot to overlay the photos I took from the iPhone 12 in that video you guys can see. So I'm so fucking sorry about that. But I'm not going to take the video down or anything like that. I like leaving my mistakes up there so people can tell I'm human, not a robot. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys right now. Thanks for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. Love you guys very much. Again, for Helium Mobile interested, promo in the description for you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks. I appreciate it. Alter Tech. You guys subscribe to Alter Tech's channel. He's coming back with videos. You guys gotta definitely check out. He's also been pushing on Helium Mobile as well. And he's got a promo code for you guys too. So go check out his channel. Follow him on X to grab his promo code if you guys want to use it. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys now. I'll talk to y'all later.